Hi everyone, Ben here from Sydney Fruit Gardening, and today I'm going to do a update on the backyard, show you what's growing, what's starting to fruit, what's flowering, give you an update on how things are going. So one of the things I've recently done is installed a new irrigation system to prevent what I think happened with the Panama berry, with that tree unfortunately dying and drying out. So anyway, I'll do a quick tour and show you what's going on. Alright, so just starting with the fig here, white Adriatic. A lot of Breba crop figs on here. I reckon this one's very close to ripe. Then I've got a whole host of new figs coming through as well. So this is just in a pot. I reckon that's a probably 40-litre pot maybe. Yeah, and it's doing alright. Alright, the multi-grafted citrus. So got a few grafts on here that are taken. This is a lemonade. Lemonade is taken, that's just a cleft graft. There's another desert lime up here. I have seen some starts of shoots on that one. I think it's growing okay. Australian lime down here. That one's starting to fruit. I grafted that last year. I've got a couple of other grafts here too. I reckon this lemonade here is close. This is a bud graft. I think that's close. There's another one, another bud graft over here of that. I think it's close, and same with over here, some pinky lemongrass as well. So I think they're going well. It's got a lot of limes and lemons on it. It's a blood orange up here. Mandarin down there. So a lot going on with this little citrus. This is in a 100-litre pot now. All right, a lot of other figs down here doing okay. A lot on this one here. A few over there too. And the Eugenia anthropophaga. It's kind of a scraggly looking thing, but it's doing all right. Some other grafted citrus down here, kaffir lime, blood orange I think, another kaffir lime there. And I do have, these are some of the new seedlings. Oh, I've just shown before, this is a dwarf cacao. It's trying to put out a new leaf there. I'm just testing these things. It is temperamental. It does seem to get a bit of dieback on the leaves. And we're getting 30-degree days now. It's 30 today, although we've have had some lower temperature days as well. This one unfortunately got affected by aphids, so those leaves are all bent. I won't even try and pronounce this. That's what it is. That's what that cacao is as well. I'll show you the other ones in a moment too. This one's the worst of the two cacaos, and same with this one is the worst of the two. So I thought I'd put these two in sun and compare it to the other two, which are in more part shade. So we'll see what happens. Very quickly show you the other two. Here's the other cacao. This one's already trying to put out new growth there. And up the top there. And this one I think is doing better, but it still gets a bit of this stuff as well. I constantly fill this up just on the side, just for humidity purposes. And this is the other one of those things, Clavia, whatever they are. So that one's doing okay. And then I've got this one here, Matakara. I don't know what they are, to be honest. They're funny looking trees. They produce a kind of orange fruit that hangs on the bark. So fairly unique looking tree. This one's growing nicely, although the wind knocked off one of these big beautiful leaves before, which wasn't great. Whilst I'm here, I guess the grafted Nanka mini jackfruit doing all right. Potted that one up and it's been doing fine. It was a very gentle potting up process. Well, I've got some new arrivals too, which I'll show you another time perhaps. But if I just go over here, okay. So we've got the Lee Jujube, which is starting to put fruit out. Lots of fruits. Now it's in the ground, I think it's happy. So I'll just wait till those fruits get a bit bigger and then I'll put a net over it. Green Sapote didn't love me for uppotting it. It lost a lot of leaves, but it's doing okay again. Right, I've just turned on the sprinklers so you can see this new system that I've put in. I've embedded it in the ground as well. You can see these kind of just move as well, so if I want to move them I can put them elsewhere. Very cool setup, I think, anyway. Alright, so the canistel, let's get back to it. The canistel's doing great. Look at all this new growth up here. How cool is that? I don't know how long they take to fruit canistel. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments. But it is growing very nicely here in Sydney. It does get this sort of yellowy leaves during winter, but then come spring, back to full growth. So I hold out a lot of hope for this one. I think it's promising for our climate. Right, some guavas here and my lychee. This is the Erdon Lee. It struggled a bit going in ground. You can see I've moved the trampoline in front of it so it doesn't get smashed by the sun. I think it's trying to push out some new growth. Bit of wind here, guys, if you hear that on the video. Yeah, a little bit of wind, but that's okay. So look, the lychee I think is doing all right. I'll be happier when I see some new growth coming on that one. Jaboticaba, this is the large leaf. It's doing fine as well. Not much to report here. Peach tree, I've harvested all the peaches now and I gave it a good hard prune back. I want to keep this tree small, even though I think it is a full-size tree. So that's why I pruned it back. But yeah, look, it gave some very delicious peaches. This is the Early Beauty variety, which is a more tropical early season variety, and it did really well. Apples are going good. Dorset Golden, all bagged up over here. I'll be harvesting them soon. I've already had some of the Tropic Sweet, so they're doing well. The coffee tree down there is doing good. Putting out new growth. This is a Blue Mountain variety, I think it's called. And it's starting to put out the flowers for the next season's berries. So happy with those. We got a little bowl of berries this year, which was neat. Next year I might roast them. Acerola, for all its fuss putting out flowers, it didn't actually really put on many fruit, except this one. So I don't know what happened there. The fruit set was really poor, but I think we have more flowers coming anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, you can see those. I really like these acerolas. This could be a contender to go in ground. I want you to think, as you're watching this video and I'm showing you plants that are in pots, what do you think should go in the space of the Panama berry that has recently deceased? Acerola could be a contender. It's a real, that said, it is a real premier spot, you know, west facing, centre of the shed garden kind of area. So it has to be a really, I think, nice tree, nice good looking tree, but also one you know, that I'm going to really enjoy the fruit. I like the acerola, don't get me wrong, but yeah, like it's a premier spot, guys, so I've got to be judgy about what I put in. All right, this is the first of 2 Rolinias. You can see those flower buds are developing. They're taking a long time to open. Long time to open. But they are there. So this one's got a few. The other one in ground has a lot more actually. So that's kind of cool. The dwarf Grimmichummer gave me some flowers. They didn't really turn into fruit or anything. So, oh, this one may do. Well, maybe I will get one fruit. That's cool. Oh, that does look promising. Jackfruit. Not doing a lot this one. Put out some new leaves, but still quite yellow from winter. White sapote. I'm going to get my first white sapotes, I think. Woohoo! Look at that. Getting nice and big. This is the Kampong variety. Put on a lot of growth, this one. So it's turning into a nice little tree. I did get one graft successful on here. It's been overshadowed a bit by the other growth though, so I might have to do something to prune it back or whatever. There we go. And it did take, might not have been the best graft, but it has taken, so that's the important thing. But yeah, lots of growth on this one now. It's really healthy and just loving life, so that's doing good. Cedar Bay Cherry has come back really nicely too this year. It kind of had myrtle rust, I think, for a little while there, but now it's just a healthy, green, beautiful looking tree, so I'm hopeful about that one too. Wish I could say the same for the lemon drop mangosteen. This one isn't looking great, to be honest. These ones don't really like the winter up here. The Achacha is a lot more hardier than the lemon drop mangosteen, so I would, even Luke's Garcinia is a lot harder than lemon drop mangosteen. So I would probably avoid that in the Sydney climate. But, you know, if you want to, give it a go. Quaimork is a funny one. It grew a lot during winter, but when spring and summer came round, it kind of stopped. So I don't know, I might be starting to try and put out some new growth there. So we'll see. This coffee tree's doing good. I think it'll do a lot better now that the irrigation is in. You can see there's some coffee there. There you go. A few more. I must have missed these when I picked them. Also the elderflower. That's just gotten so big I have to cut some down soon, I think. But I picked some florets from the elderflower, some of these flower clusters, and made elderflower champagne this morning. So I'll show you some of that once it's brewed and bottled in a few weeks' time. But that is a really delicious way to make use of elderflower. Okay, let's keep going. All right, star apple, kind of doing all right in the pot here. You know, maybe this is another contender as well to put in ground. And this is the spot we're talking about, guys. Look at that spot in the middle there with the sad tree stump. Oh well. I don't think I'll put another Panama berry in. They're good. But look, they're just small little fruits from a big tree. I want something a bit more filling when I eat it. So more of a novelty thing, I think. Let's have a look here at the Rollinia. So this is my oldest Rollinia. This one is putting out flowers as well. You can generally see them on the underside there. A lot up here too. Look, just clusters of flowers. So I'm quite hopeful that maybe finally getting Relinia. Wouldn't that be cool? Lovely new growth here. And this will just get bigger and bigger, and as the season goes on until these leaves are almost the length of my forearm. Wax jambu hiding back there. It put out some new growth at the beginning of spring but hasn't done much since. This is a marcot. It is shaded by this banana here. That situation will resolve itself a little bit once I pull out this big tree here and I harvest those bananas up there. So they are getting ripe now. This is the first bunch of bananas I've ever had, guys. So I've never grown bananas before. I've picked one or two that seem ripe, and they were quite delicious. This is the red Dhaka. What do you reckon? Should I be harvesting those now, or leave them on the tree? Let me know. Okay, guava. This is the red cherry guava. Flowered, fruit's dropped off, so another year of waiting on that one. Abiu's loving it now. It's a magnet for scale, but this is the Z4 variety of Abiu, and yeah, it's just loving the humidity, the heat. It's in its natural environment. Peanut butter fruit here, so this might be another one I get to first year of tasting the fruit. Maybe there's some blooms appearing, which is promising. So yeah, again, this one's in a pot. Could this one go in that space? Maybe. Is it worth it? I want to taste the fruit first before I make that call. Jackfruit. I lopped the top off this jackfruit because I actually want it to branch from this point rather than go straight up like some of them do. So I've done that. I don't think it loved me for it, but it is starting to grow back, some new growth there. Some there, so I think we will get that one recovering fine. This is the blue Java banana. There's a rack up there. Fairly small rack, but yeah, a rack nonetheless. Black sapote. I'm just picking these as we eat them now. These are probably the bigger, for Sydney, these are the biggest size ones I've had so far, I reckon. It's a decent chunky size. So they are ready to harvest now. I'm just taking my time, and I am experimenting here. This tree seems to just spit out new growth, new blooms, and it all just sort of goes from this centre area here rather than growing upwards. You know, this thing's not even up to my waist, it's so small. It gives me lots of fruit, I'm not complaining, but I would like it to start to grow up. So I'm going to try and train this branch upwards. I'm pulling the flowers off as they appear on this branch to try and just focus on new growth, which seems to be working pretty well so far. So we'll keep that up and see what we can do to try and get this thing a bit taller. Otherwise, it's a very prolific tree. It's a grafted Bernica. Lots of fruit every year. No complaints. Have a look at that. Pretty cool. More down here. Trio of them down here. Yep. All right. The achacha. Just doing its thing. Not fruiting, but just just growing, so that one day it might fruit. We live in hope. Pear's doing good. One of my bud grafts here is taken. Have a look at that. I think I might have showed this last time, not sure. Anyway, that's the Florida Home pear. That's taken, which is good. I'll train that upwards. I've put a wire system in so it espaliers along this shed fence nicely. I'm holding out a bit of hope now for this avocado to come back. I'm actually getting some leaves finally. So there we go. Some nice leaves there. Some there. This has gone all black, probably sunburn, I dare say. It does get hot here. I will let this thing grow again. This is a relative of the cassava, but the less useful version. It doesn't, it's just propagated by a bird dropping, I think. It's just in the wrong spot in behind that retaining wall. So, yeah. Not really retaining wall, just the fence, just the area between this area. There's a bit of a, yeah, anyway, you see it. So I'll let that grow again, protect it during summer before pruning it again. Soursop. Didn't love me potting it up, but it's doing okay now. And hopefully we'll get some new growth soon. Some pomegranates I propagated, blueberries I've potted up. Abiu, another Abiu, this is the E4. Again, doing all right if it weren't for all the scale. So much scale everywhere, ants just do it, not much I can sort of do there. I don't think these are contenders for going into the ground. They will probably just perish during winter. They come inside each winter at the moment, and then they come back out for spring. This one could be one. This is a Lucuma. This is a Montalban variety. It is a seedling, so I will be waiting for fruit. But it is, it's related to the Abiu, to the Canistel. It is a Puteria, and it's probably the most cold hardy of those edible Puteria varieties. So it does really well in the pot there. There's mixed information as to whether they need pollinating partners. I'd love some reliable information. If people know whether they do in fact need pollinating partners, that would be handy. If they don't, then I am tempted perhaps to put it in the ground there. Could be an option. Yeah, and there's some jubbos and the yellow jaboticaba down there doing all right. Seedling as well. All right, so that's what's going on in the backyard. I'll do some more video updates soon. I'll show you some new things that I've picked up. This is just the this is just the vegetable garden, sorry. But yeah, there's some things going on out the front and in pots, which I'll show you another time. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye.